Hello there. This is a poster I made about the cardiovascular system. Definitely didn't take long to make it all. Um, it's for year 10 students, and it's meant to be like an engaging way to learn about the system and all the like diseases and stuff that could affect it, or how stuff travels around it. What I didn't consider with this is that with the camera being so terrible and far away from the poster, it's kind of hard to read everything. So I'll have to figure that out, I guess. Yeah. Imagine you're a red blood cell. You've just come down from the lungs here because it's a loop. I can't really start at the start because there isn't really any start to start with. So imagine you're a red blood cell. You're here. You move down, or here, I guess. You move down into the heart. These colors are not accurate. This thing's not to scale. And yeah, I mean, obviously the color's not accurate, really, but so you move down into the heart, I guess, and through this valve so that blood can't backflow into the other part. You're in here. You then move up across here into the aorta, and out into the upper body or into the lower body. Um, so once you've gone through either the upper body or lower body, giving oxygen and nutrients and stuff to the cells, you travel back down through this vein into the opposite side of the heart through this valve that also stops backflow. You're now deoxygenated because your oxygen has been used up with the cells and you've given it to them. You then travel back up these and into the, well, not into the lungs, but into capillaries, which allow, we go here to the alveoli, which are right at the ends of bronchi and bronchioles and all that stuff in the lungs. This isn't about the respiratory system though, so we won't focus on that too much. There's oxygen and stuff that come in here, and the walls of capillaries are 1 cell thick, so they can do gas exchange easier, or at all, I guess. And so the size of this is probably not very accurate either, but it's just a rapid representation, I guess. So the oxygen travels into the alveoli, through the wall of this, into the wall of the capillary or capillary, and gets caught by a red blood cell traveling down through any of these things, the capillaries. The blood is now oxygenated again, or most of it, and it travels back down this vein and into the heart again. And then that's sort of the cycle of the blood just traveling around. Obviously, the lungs aren't there, the upper body is not that small, and it's all for displaying purposes. The differences between capillaries, veins, and arteries. Arteries are the largest. I may have not called veins and arteries. I may have messed them up before just now. But to make it clear, arteries, they are the ones going away from the heart. They have thicker outsides and they're larger in general because they have higher pressure blood coming directly from the heart and the pumping is more extreme. Once they've, gotten transported all that stuff, you're in veins. The veins are slightly a bit smaller, not quite sure how much, but like those sizes again, probably not very accurate, but for displaying purposes. Veins, they have a slightly thinner wall, they're a bit smaller because the blood is less pressurized and they do a similar job to the other tubes of blood, I guess. So the veins travel back into the heart with lower pressure blood. The capillaries are the smallest ones by far, one cell thick walls to let gas exchange happen. And red blood cells actually have to be like squishy to fit into the capillaries because they're actually smaller than the red blood cells, which is slightly concerning. Don't know how that isn't clogged up, but yeah. There are diseases that affect the cardiovascular system in very negative ways. The disease depicted up there, atherosclerosis, I think, is the buildup of plaque in arteries like all across the body.
Yeah, so I'm voiceovering this part of the video because I completely forgot to actually talk about the disease and what it actually does rather than what it's connected to and things that it affects rather than how it affects them. So basically, the disease atherosclerosis, the buildup of plaque in the arteries causes anything from blood clots to even ruptured arteries because of the pressure of the blood behind it getting stuck. It can result in death, which is not great. It barely has any symptoms. You only have an idea that you have it when you have chest pain. I think that's about all I needed to say. Back to the video.
It can affect basically every system in the body, and I mean, obviously, it affects the heart, the circulatory system. It affects the liver and pancreas, I think. It affects the brain. It's not really a system of the body, but yeah. Also affects the kidney, which is the urinary system. It can be caused by many things, from smoking, family history of it, or just obesity, or like being diabetic, I think. Double checking my notes, I guess I could say. I forgot one thing. It's not depicted in the poster. The thing I forgot was how waste is transported from the cells and how nutrients are transported into them. It's not too difficult. The arteries bring blood to a bunch of the parts of the body, all of it basically. Nutrients are taken from parts of the body into the blood system through basically the small intestine and circulate around the blood, which probably causes some of that plaque buildup in the arteries. The oxygen diffuses into the cells, and waste kind of just diffuses out of it. Yeah, so that's actually it now. Links in the description, all the sources I used, or basically all of them. I mean, might have searched up something on Google that gave me a tiny bit more insight, but that doesn't really, it didn't really affect anything. So, yeah, with that being said, that's the year 10 circulatory system. Heart's, pretty complicated system, probably why I chose it. So, I'm working my best here, I guess. Done. Yeah. Bye.